Motherhood is so bittersweet. Nothing beats the laughter and the smiles and the excitement from the smallest things, and the joy that they get from a new toy, or the joy from learning something new makes you feel like, okay, yeah, it's definitely all worth it. Do anything for your child. It's a different kind of love. It's a different kind of strength that you gain. Let's rock, let's rock. Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's all that jazz. We're on the road to 1K, so go ahead and subscribe today by clicking that red subscribe button. And I'm back with another video. So today I am talking about motherhood in honor of Mother's Day. I will have been a mother, I mean, if we count outside of the stomach, a whole like 18 months. If you're new to this channel, I do have 2 twin boys and they are 18 months. So this is my perspective on motherhood so far. It is super bittersweet. Like, it's something that you would not change for the world. It is something that you thoroughly enjoy, but it is something that no one can prepare you for. Not a book, not a mom, not a grandma, not a dad, not an uncle, not an aunt. It is a learning process. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm taking a class because I feel like I'm in school. Like, I learn every single day. Motherhood is something that you love, but it's hard, y'all. It's hard. And that's with me having all the support in the world. Like, I have me and my husband, we've talked about our video before about things they don't tell you about being a parent, which you should watch. We have a whole team that helps us out, and yet it's still a lot of work, and it's still something that your girl was not ready for. I wasn't. But I'm learning and I'm getting better, and every day is something new. I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm not gonna complain. Okay, I'm gonna complain a little bit, but y'all who are mothers understand. And it's not something that's like, oh my gosh, I just wish I wasn't a mom, or I wish I didn't have kids. Like, that is not my perspective or my thoughts at all. I love having children. If I want more? Probably not now, but I think it's really because I was hit with 2 at one time. I know people who have 2 under 2 or like 3 or 4 kids, like, bless y'all whole heart, bless y'all whole soul. But me being as like, I wasn't really around kids when I was younger, so I wasn't the type to be like extra like, oh, I love the baby girl, or I love the boy, I love babies, I've been in a daycare before. Like, no, never. And when kids would come around, I would always be super awkward. Like, I would just be like, hey, like, am I supposed to do giggly silly faces? Like, what do I do? So coming from that to a full-blown mom is like, oh, okay, got it. So motherhood challenges you, and the kids will try your life. Now, not necessarily on purpose, probably at a certain age, but not necessarily on purpose, but they got that curiosity, and they like, what will mom or dad's reaction be if I just go ahead and pour all this out? What will they do? What do they think if I do that? It's like, that's their brain. It's like, let's see. They're just at the age where they're curious, and it makes sense. And that's what I have to remind myself too. Like, you have to understand that they're not full-blown real adults that understand exactly what they've just done. They're just like, oh, let's see. Now, certain things when they do repetitively, for example, now they understand you have to sit down on the couch, or let's not hit your brother, or let's, you know, certain things that they've done over and over, and we've had to tell them like no or stop. It's starting to register. But something new that they've never done before, then I could see, you know, I'm not saying I know it's not okay, but I'm like, yep. And another thing, like, literally, that's how it goes. As a mom, you have to put yourself in check so many times a day, because there's so many different things that can trigger you. The whining, or the tantruming, or the screaming, or even just the hitting, like that kind of stuff over and over and over will build your, like, it'll have you like, I'm about to boil over, and I have to just breathe for a moment. And so, like, watching, I watch a lot of like TikToks about parenting, and they like always say to just pause before you react, you know what I mean? Because your #1 reaction is if you don't get your, you know what I mean? And so sometimes that reaction is necessary, but sometimes it's like, okay, just breathe, just think before you speak to your child, before you react to your child. All the whining, the tantrum, the sleep regressions, all of that combined, especially double times 2 or times 3 times 4, how many you have, it'll put you on another level. Y'all, it tests your life. I think the hardest point at this point of their age is like, because they understand you to an extent, but not every single thing. So they learn something every single day. They're learning how to communicate. Sometimes you don't know what's wrong. Sometimes they just burst into tears, and a lot of times that could be like teething or whatever it may be. But sometimes like my twins deal with constipation, so I know like sometimes they might be fussier another day because of that, or like because they haven't had a bowel movement yet. Like it's just so many factors that go into the random crying or the whining outside of tiredness, you know. And so having to deal with something new on a day-by-day basis with parenthood and motherhood, I've realized you cannot have expectations, because it was the nights that I would be like, okay, they're gonna sleep through the night, like especially prior to one, they're gonna sleep through the night because they've been doing good for like 3 days now, and I'm finna be able to relax, I'm finna be able to watch this Netflix show, I'm finna be able to edit, I'm finna be able to just have mommy time. And they wake up crying, and me and Amain will be like, we just put y'all down an hour ago. And the thing about having like 2 kids is like, I don't know if it's the same for just 2 under 2 period, but sometimes it can be overwhelming, because when one is not crying, the other is crying. And like once one, like, well, I'll say Noah and Levi, that's their name. When Noah is crying, Levi will be chill, like la 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 la. Then literally once Noah stopped crying, Levi's like, okay, time for me to cry and be upset about something. And it's just like, but we can't just all just be happy and content right now. Like somebody gotta cry. Just one of y'all, like somebody has to cry. And so that can be a lot in itself. But in order to get through this kind of stuff, I constantly remind myself like I'm an adult. I constantly remind myself that they're a kid and that they don't understand certain things such as patience. Kids don't understand, okay, I probably can't run over here because something could happen to me, or I can't, you know. So like I have to understand that I have to explain these things to them, or like, and they grasp as much as they can. And I have to change my tone sometimes. I have to, you know, be stern about certain things. I have to be like, give them the look. They know the look now. And certain things is just like, I have to just remind myself before I get upset that they don't comprehend every single thing that I comprehend as an adult. And it's so weird to say an adult, because I feel like I was just like a teenager yesterday. But yeah, and I have realized that toddlers have big emotions. So as we have grown up as adults, like we've learned how to manage our emotions, and even now it's still a difficult thing to do sometimes, to manage your emotions and figure out where to have an outlet as an adult. To be like, some people run, some people pray, some people meditate. Like that's how they deal with their emotions. And so as a child, they don't have a way to deal with their emotions except for like screaming or throwing a tantrum, because that's their way of communicating. Like, I'm big mad right now, I'm big sad right now. Us is like, that is not a big deal. Like, relax, like chill, you're really doing a lot right now. But to them, the fact that they can't put this top on this bowl means the world to them. So they're going to be extremely upset. And so I have to turn it on in my brain, y'all. I gotta be like, this is big to Noah, or this is big to Levi, this is a big deal. That's why they, you know, throwing their back out. But sometimes you just be like, but you don't gotta like throw your back out for the, like, well, let's just figure it out real quick. That's it, that's all I need to do. We don't gotta tantrum it out. We don't. But they be like, no, this is the hardest thing of life. And I always say in my head, and I try not to say it, but I just be like, this is the easiest life it's gonna get. Like, literally, you get fed, you get clothed, you wake up, you get to play with your toys, you have no responsibilities, you have nothing to worry about, nothing right now. And they don't get that, but I'm like, this is as easy as it gets, and you mad right now? But of course they don't understand. But nothing beats the laughter and the smiles and the excitement from the smallest things, and the joy that they get from a new toy, or the joy from learning something new, from with their faces lighting up, or just, you know, from seeing you after some time and they're so excited. Like, nothing beats that, honestly. It just brightens up your world, and it makes you feel like, okay, yeah, it's definitely all worth it. Even if that smile is just for 0.2 seconds, it's worth it. Even if that laugh is just for 5 minutes and then they're back to crying, it's still worth it. Realistically, you do love, like, when they're on my holding on to my leg, when I'm walking, I can't even go nowhere, or they're like, hi, where'd mom go out the room? Like yesterday, I was trying to take a shower, just a little shower to just decompress, and Levi was like screaming at the door, like, because I had locked it, because I'm like, mommy just needs to breathe. Like, it's been a long day, it's been a lot today, I just need to just breathe, take a shower, and start over, come back out and do it again. Emmanuel was watching them, and he was at the door like, no ma'am, ain't no time for you. I don't know why you thought that you could be in here. He was big, he was hot, he was like, He was like, nah, you need to come on out. Like clinging to you in an unfamiliar environment, and understanding, you know, that's mommy, that's daddy, and hearing them say dad all the time. And they started off saying mama, but now I'm dad, and I'll be mama again one day, I'm sure. I've learned that motherhood is about finding the joy in the smallest things every single day. Honestly, at the end of the night, I'll put them to sleep and be like, oh, that was a lot. But then I'm back scrolling, looking at their pictures. Like, I didn't just put them to bed in the crib. Like, I didn't just have them all day, because it's still like, those are they're my heart. Like, that's my joy. It's unexplainable. Like, I can't even explain the love that I have for them. And it's like, you already know, I'll do anything for them. Like, that's how you feel as a mom. Like, I'll be ready to fight for them. I'll be ready to fight bees. Like, you really you conquer fears. I was talking to like, y'all know her, Aaliyah, my sister-in-law, about that. Soon to be sister-in-law. Like, I hate bees, I hate spiders, I hate bugs, but once they coming around my babies, I'm like, like, let's go, it's time to fight. Like, I'm ready to kill them. Like, we don't know mosquitoes, nothing. It's you protect them with all your life and all your soul. And now I completely get it. And it's all about like embracing the little things and eventually teaching them to become this independent, amazing, loving person that you want them to be and who they should become. You know? Mostly what makes this a lot easier is having a whole village and everybody on your side helping you out, and, you know, just willing to give you like a breather and a break. Do anything for your child. It's a different kind of love. It's a different kind of strength that you gain. God gave me two, because I guess he said I can handle it. You know, I still got a couple questions, but I'll take it. It's a blessing. And every time I see somebody with my twins, they're like, oh, I wish I had twins. And in my head, I'm like, they're a bundle of joy. But let me tell you about this work. I wasn't necessarily prepared for it, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Thinking about also, this is a side note, like making this channel more like motherhood, so you guys can see behind the scenes of like, they're coming up on the age of 2, so I'm like super excited to start teaching them, like not necessarily super structured teaching, but to help them learn something new every day, and pushing them like to learn. Like, now they know how to put stuff in the trash, they know how to put stuff in the dishwasher, how to put stuff in the washer. Well, not the water. They know how to like pour the liquid in the washer. They know how to put stuff in the dryer. They know how to put their dirty clothes up in their basket. So teaching them like life habits is really pretty cool and pretty fun, and it keeps them occupied. So right now my journey is figuring out how else to keep them occupied outside of going outside, and because they're tired of toys at this point. We could probably just donate them all, but we're not going to do that. Just kidding, because they play with them for a little bit. But that's the new part of motherhood that I'm in. Anyway, if you could relate and you're still here watching this video, I really do appreciate it. Make sure that you comment below how many kids you have or how you feel about motherhood. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.